Hello everyone, this is my sketchbook tour, and it is the second sketchbook that I've ever completed. I'm very pumped about it. I used the Elio/EO/unclear how to say it sketchbook, which are very hard to get. I just happened to get one because I think I stumbled upon them when they were in stock on Amazon, but I went back to get a new one as I was finishing this one, and they're like on back order, so I got another one that I'm excited to try from a local art store. But I like to cover my sketchbooks with stickers that I collect because I feel like they're a safe place to put stickers that I won't regret. And you can see it's covered front and back. But yeah, so let's just dive right in. The front cover sketch, I don't put anything here because like I don't take it anywhere that I would lose it. I wanted to try something different for this sketchbook, just try and do some sketchbook goals. So I just sort of wrote down what I would want this sketchbook to look like, because as I've been completing more sketchbooks, I say as this is only the second one, that I try to dissect what I like most about them, of the ones that I look at, like the ones that I look at on YouTube. And so I like it when the page is filled. I like it when there are a lot of studies and like more textures and like less structure. So that's what I tried to emulate in this sketchbook, as well as just like keep the goals in mind. So I took a page from Drawing with Waffles book, and I did a cover page with the dates that I started this sketchbook in April and just finished it a couple days ago. Used Copics for that, and then this is what this was sketching for. And then this was just me testing out the pages, see what worked, see what didn't, in terms of like what the page could take. Drawing some poop, you know. My Uhu test page, along with some Tombos and some watercolors. Tombos, in my experience, are like really streaky. I don't know if I'm using them correctly, but I also noticed that on this paper the watercolor gets kind of pilly. But they pretty much don't show through, which is nice. And so I wanted to do some studies, so I made some shoes and just did it that way. Did some fairies. I really like this one. Just being more loose on the page and not worrying about if it cuts across or like intersects or like really bleeds through. I really like this spread. This was a character design that I took from a book that I really liked when I was a kid, which is the Land of Elian series by Patrick Carman. I feel like it got slept on when I was like in middle school, so there was not any fan art, and so I had to fill that void. But I tried to visually develop the main character, whose name is Alexa. She's like a 13-year-old kid. I really like this preliminary sketch, and I really like this pose. And then this was me playing around with color saturation. And then I liked this pose so much that I scanned it in and then did a digital rendering of it, and just playing around with some color palettes. I really like the sketch, but it's way too saturated. But that's okay. I really like this spread too, again with the Tombow markers. I don't know if I'm using them correctly, but just some sketchies, like having fun with it, like not worrying about it if it doesn't turn out correctly. I like the idea of pop-ups in sketchbooks. This is from an old sketchbook from like 2017. From an old Inktober, and I think if I redid it I would definitely make that straighter, but I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. And then just like a random Spock in there. But yeah, this was a throwaway page. I tried to do another visual development for another character from that same book series, and I just lost steam, so I just covered it with washi tape. Random doodle rough right here. This is where I really tried to use the whole spread. I thought it would be cool to try and tackle like what makes stained glass unique, and I don't really like how this turned out. I feel like if I were to like cut into the face and like do that different shades and like make it like glass, I feel like it would have turned out better, but you know, it's fine. These are Pinterest doodles. This is a character from Ashvion/Toasty Hats church animatic on YouTube. Would recommend. I'll link that down below. I was playing D&D here, so these are my notes, and this is the D&D character I was using. Spider-Man doodle from work, a random Aang, and then I was playing with colored pencils and layering for this Leo right here. More Pinterest doodles. I like this guy. I also really like this guy. Still trying to figure out how to fill the page, because you can see that there's a lot of like white space here. Did some bug studies. I like how this turned out. This is from a different sketchbook, and I like how this bee turned out. This is also when I got this fun stencil type thing that sort of fills in that white space, which I really appreciate. I also really like how these flowers turned out. More Pinterest doodles. I actually did this one in Sai, and then I liked it, so I printed it out and stuck it in there. And that adds to the like second texture. This is also like pasted in. I think this was Mermaid. So I doodled that. I also use a lot of pink highlighter in this sketchbook. This is watercolor. I like where this was going. I just sort of lost steam. Yeah. This is self-portrait with pastels, because I had some from when I took figure drawing in college. So I wanted to see how those would fare on the paper, and they fare really well. They don't like transfer over to the other pages. This is another D&D character. This is Milo. He's a halfling monk, again with the stencil in the background. I just really think it like closes out the page, which is nice. These are thumbnails from an animatic that I made along with like the lyrics and like where I wanted to go. It's like, are animatics the new songfic? Let me know. I was playing golf with my family, and I was doodling while in between holes. I like the way this guy turned out, and then this guy, I also like this guy's mustache. Again, not as filled as I want it to be, but I am learning. Pinterest doodles, watercolor houses. I noticed that I like it when structures in drawings have like wobbly lines, like they're organic and they're not like super straight, like made with a ruler. I think it adds like a hominess to them. Oop, skipping pages. Just some doodles, again with that pink highlighter. Finished sketch of this thumbnail. D&D podcast. Would recommend. It's from Critical Role. I volunteered at an urban rooftop farm in St. Louis, and it's really cool. It's all sustainable. It's on the top of an old U-Haul building, and they provide fresh produce for like families that don't necessarily have access, and they also have chickens. So I got a postcard from them, and then I was like, I'm gonna draw a chicken, and then I'm gonna draw a Harvest Moon chicken, and that's what this page is. Saw Pokemon. That was cool. Yep. Some more D&D. This is from Critical Role. This is just some random robots and then like a cyborg. This page started with this character, who's another D&D character. Then it transformed to this one, which is like a mechanic type deal. And then it was like race car driver. But then I was like, why don't we do the mechanic for the race car driver? And then I developed that sketch some more. And then this is the final sketch. I do like the fluidity that this sketch has versus this sketch. But, you know, that happens with line art. Again, playing D&D, doodling while it was happening. Pinterest. Again, pink highlighter. I saw Men in Black International. It was an alright movie. Not super memorable, but, like, fun to watch. I like this cricket. I'm not really a fan of the spread. I just feel like it could have been filled more. Pinterest, Critical Role. I actually fully rendered this one, and it's on my Instagram. And I also did a speed paint of this. Is this coming apart right here? Might be. But yeah, and I can link this speed paint down below as well. More Critical Role, the people who actually make Critical Role. I saw Toy Story 4. It was nice. I enjoyed watching it. I really wanted to draw some dresses. Really like this one. Not super a fan of this one. This one's sort of okay, but you know, again with these Tombow markers, I don't know how to fix that. But you know, pink highlighter. What are you gonna do? Good lord, so much pink highlighter. I was doodling at work and I got bored, so when I was bored, and so I liked it, so I took it home. Random doodle, Spider-Man, pink and red, as it happens. D&D, I watched Good Omens, not really super pleased with how these turned out, especially this Crowley, which is why I put a post-it note over them, but like whatever, it's fine. I do like this spread. This was just I was just sort of doodling one of my characters, just sort of trying different like eye styles and like hairstyles and sort of trying to just, you know, play around. Random creepy man, random doodles. These are taken from photos. I got this card for some reason. I can't remember what it was, but I know I really liked it. So I was like, I'm going to try and emulate this. So this is watercolor with a reference from Pinterest, random to fill up the page. I do really like how this turned out though. I wish I would have carried it more into, but like, you know, what are you going to do? Saw Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, really good movie, would recommend. And then I was trying to thumbnail a tattoo idea, which is I now have on my ankle, which is cool. Pinterest, random. Again, not as filled as I would like it, but what are you gonna do? My friends and I were playing Monster of the Week, which is like D&D, but it's different mechanics, different gameplay. And this is my character, as well as like game notes. And then I drew all of my friends' characters. I was also drawing on a train, which was stupid. So like all the lines are really wobbly, but I had fun. And then last couple of characters from that group. And then on my way back on the train, I made an animatic of our first game that we played, and so I was re-listening to it, the recordings that we do, to try and figure out which part I wanted to do. Yeah, this page, I just like really like the combination of orange and teal, so I was playing around with that, and then trying to do like a weird thing here. This guy was trying to be a hedgehog or something, and then it turned into a jellyfish, so I just kept going with it, which is how I got to this spread, which I really like. It's also like almost right in the middle of the sketchbook, so this might be the first thing anyone sees when they open it, but I really like the texture play here and how the tentacles intermingle with each other. Pinterest, hate this page, it's terrible, so we're just gonna move on. Watched the entirety of Atla with my roommate, and was doodling the entire time. A classic, would recommend. Tried to draw Appa, couldn't draw Appa, left it blank. I don't know what these are for, but probably something. My neighborhood has a lot of houses with like fairy doors, which are, if you don't know, just like little plastic doors that you can put up against trees, and they're supposed to be just like doorways for fairies, which is why they're called fairy doors. But they're always very inspiring and like really cute, and some people go really like ham with them in terms of like setting up the environment. So I wanted to doodle that. So this is all watercolor with some marker on top. I thought to myself, why don't I just write out the prompts for Inktober? And then nothing happened with them, but this is like India ink, like trying to figure out how to get some different tones. Nothing happened there. Some more doodles, scrap page. I did some figure drawings from a website that like times it, and it clocks out at like 30 seconds, so it's like really quick gesture drawings, and then you can also edit them for like time's sake. So like you can do 30 seconds or like 2 minutes or like an hour or whatever, wherever you like want to practice. And so and then I had some washi tape that I wanted to like go throughout just to make it more interesting. Monster of the Week, more gesture drawings, 30 seconds. I do this thing where I really like to take business cards from places and then draw around them. So this is from a local cafe in my neighborhood, and I picked 3 colors out of my marker bin, and I was like, let me design a character around this. And so this is Fern Fiddlehead. She is a gnome wizard, and she is a D&D character, shocking. But I really, really like how this spread turned out, and it was also really fun to do, and I had fun doing it, which is nice when you enjoy something. But yeah, and I like tried to overlay some markers to get different tones, which is how I got the different shade and leggings. Yeah, overall a good turnout. This page is terrible. I was playing more with India inks and trying to figure out like what it would do if water went down first, and then you like some ink into it, and it spreads out really organically, which is really cool. And so I was like, yeah, let me go off of this. But then I realized I didn't know how to draw an octopus, so I was like, well, here we are. Next, some more doodles. I like this one. This is India ink. I don't know how I can't remember how I got this texture. I think I just like took a tissue, or a bamboo brush. I think, oh, I definitely used a bamboo brush, which is like one of these guys, but just to like, yeah. Some OCs, some more doodles. I really like this doodle. I didn't like do any construction lines or anything. I just sort of went for it. Here's another business card, designing around that. I really like this one. I like this sketch. I think this one and this one are the most organic. Another business card, some skulls. I like this guy and this guy. This is a portrait of my grandpa. I couldn't get his eyes correct from the picture reference I was using, so I just gave him the anime eye shear thing, and then I tried to cartoon eyes and stylize it a little bit. But I do really like this sketch. I went to an artist meetup. These are the results of that. I was just doodling to warm up, and then this is a self-portrait of what I was wearing that day. As well as this was an outcome. Here's Fern again, as well as some potions. I like the way they interplay between like glass, and so I was trying to, this is paint marker, I think. But yeah, again, wish I filled up the page more, but there are other sketchbooks. I was making a wooden plaque, so I was testing out the paint markers that I got here, and this is April from TMNT. They're pretty opaque, which is nice, but once I kind of messed up the face, so I was like, you know, let me just go over these again, you know. A friend's character, I will link her down below. She's amazing. Go check her out. I just wanted to draw. I also digitized this one, which you can see on my Instagram. Another business card. Just, I really like how she uses color, so I was interplaying with that. And I really like this sketch, but I find that when I get near the end of a sketchbook, I want to rush it, and so I can get to the next one. And I've tried really consciously to not do that this time, but I think it still happened. It's like more pages are getting sparse throughout. But hopefully the next one is gonna be the one, you know? I like this sketch, don't really like this guy. More watercolor play. I realized when I was sketching this one, the pencil that I was sketching with is water soluble, so when I went to go add like paint on it or watercolor, it went like, so that's fun. Saw the Addams Family, that was super cool, good movie, would recommend. Some hippos. I really like how like the water, like the texture, like I like how this interplays with each other. A rabbit. I really like these bears except for this panda. It's terrible, but I like this little man, he's a good one. And I really like this guy. Again, with that pink highlighter, just, you know, we're really working through it. One last business card, I think this is the last one. Random sketches, yeah, this is the last page. So, as you can see, I sort of like, there's a lot of extra space here, but, this is the end, and I didn't even finish this one, but like, you know, it's fine. I didn't even finish this drawing, but that's okay. And I have my pocket with like a bunch of stickers that I'll put on my next sketchbook. And then the back of it. I really like these sketchbooks because they're like attainable, like the size and the squareness. It's like not as intimidating in terms of like an 8.5, like an 8x11 piece of paper. And they're also really durable, and they hold different types of media really well. Like watercolor, paint markers, Copics, pen and pencil, all that good stuff. I'm sure, and it holds pastels. I'm sure it would hold like oil. I don't know if it would hold oil paints as well, but it also like is, I really like the fact that you can lay it flat. I think is the biggest draw. And also, it's just like a perfect little square, and it's just like really satisfying when you fill it up. But yeah, thanks for joining the journey. I don't know when my next one would be because I haven't started my new one yet. But this one took me April, June, July, August, September, October, November. This one took me 6 months to complete. Maybe I'll get faster, maybe I won't. Who's to say? But yeah, I will see you guys on the flip. Bye!